Hey everyone, Michelle here from Scrappy Soul Sister, and I am sharing with you my layouts from March and April. And so, if you watched my previous layout share for January and February, I mentioned that my goal this year is to not let my stack of layouts get like this high. So I want to do a share every couple months and then get them into books or to people if they're gifts or, that type of thing. And so this is the first layout. This is for a My Little Scrapbook Store live that I did. I'm sure it was March, and so it's probably past the 30 days. But this is based off of a sketch from one of the online crops that we had over there. It was the Beatles crop. And so this is using Hidden Creek by Arden, Katie Petit design. And so I used a wood grain background. Now this, I love these wood grains, and so I'll just show you real quick. This is from Craft Consortium Beach Hut, and it has just all these great wood grains with that kind of beach hut summery type of feel. And so if you like wood grain, I highly recommend this pad. And the pictures are from San Francisco, a trip my husband and I went on not last September, but the September before. And I do not scrapbook in chronological order. And so sometimes it feels a little disjointed. Did I finish that? Did I not finish that? But for me, it's worth it in the creativity, because if I try to go in order, then I feel like I'm just getting pictures down on paper. And this way I can kind of go with my artistic gut. And so I cut out the frames out of one of those Beach Hut papers as well. This Summer Vibes is, I believe, a Bramble Fox perspective. I did some stenciling with texture paste that kind of looks like splashes. And my happy looking husband there. So yeah, fun layout to do. And this one is for Pear Tree Cut Files. And so there is a video for this on my YouTube channel. And so this is using the Simply the Best collection from Pink Fresh Studio. And the cut file is Pear Tree Cut Files. This speech bubble through here is the cut file. And then the stars, the shooting stars, is a stencil from the Pear Tree Cut File shop. And then various letters and stickers that I thought worked well with the picture. This is celebrating my niece. She had, this was at her 1,000-point milestone for basketball there at Burlington Edison. There is definitely a YouTube video for this one. So this one is for the Rediscover Your Stash Hop for March, I think. And the challenge was to use chipboard. And so I used chipboard here and here and here, and then I use those same pieces to stamp on my layout. And so this was a really fun layout to do. I don't do a lot of dark backgrounds with mixed media because I don't find it to be very forgiving. But I did use Tim Holtz paints to create the background, as well as Tim Holtz Distress spritzes. The paper collection is Starlight Dreams. And a picture from Venice, always dream, because going to Venice was always is a bucket list item for us. So now this one is My Creative Scrapbook layout for the design team. This is using the April kit. So though I did these layouts in March, and so For the design team, we do our layouts the month previous to when that kit is released. And so this is using the April kit, like I said, which is Simple Stories Vintage Flower Shop. It's either Flower Shop or Floral Shop. And it was just a really pretty kit to use. I used a Tim Holtz edge die to create the edge there. Did some mixed media here and here. The florals come in the kit. I do tend to add a little bit of white in my clusters if there's a lot of color, either by using some sprigs like I did here, or sometimes it might be a background dye that maybe chicken wire or mesh, something along those lines. And so I did that on this layout as well. Now this is of our one of our pictures from our wedding. Pete and I just escaped to Key West and had our wedding, and then had a reception later on when we got back into town. So this one is a wedding photo as well, using that same collection for My Creative Scrapbook. Now both of these, I think all of the My Creative Scrapbook layouts for this month all have videos on YouTube. And so I really wanted to focus on the butterflies. And so the butterflies going up the side, I cut out of one of the papers. I added some word strips in the coordinating colors and sewed along the edges, tucked in some flowers in here, and then the butterflies with rhinestones going up their spines. A little bit of stamping on this one, a little bit of mixed media, just a little bit of blue shining through. And then I cut out a viewfinder reel out of pink, because I just wanted, there's a lot of pattern, and so I just wanted to add a little bit of solid in there as well. So now this layout is of my lovely niece, Jessica, and so this layout is based on the sketch for the April kits. And so it had, this frame look here. I might have done, the clusters might be a little bit different than what was in the layout, but I wanted, these two were definitely in the sketch. Since it had the watering can over here, I chose to move the cluster that was over here over in here, and so that's really the main difference. I used a lot of the tags that come in the Simple Stories collections, and here's some of that white mesh that I had mentioned in a few layouts ago. And then I did do a heavy inking on the outer side of the layout. I tend to do that if it's not going to be matted on another color or another piece of paper, just so that it frames it a bit. I think that's it. Very fun sketch. And this is the last layout I did for that particular kit. My daughter, and when she was a little one, and I wanted something that felt a little bit more updated, and so I used the hexagons on here rather than focusing so much on the flowers. So I did add a few flowers and some butterflies. I used the mesh flowers on here. Dreamer was the title that came in the chipboard set. I did sew along the edge here, but I set it in a little bit so that you could really see it. And then I backed it with this pink plaid, some black splatters. Yeah, so I love this layout of my little one, who isn't so little anymore, because here she is 20 some years later, skiing with her buds. And so I had to reach out to her and say, hey, while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to glue down this little strip that's lifting. But I told her I have this cut file from Pear Tree Cut Files that I absolutely love and want to use. So you have to send me some skiing pictures. And so she delivered. And so, like I said, this is from Pear Tree Cut Files, a design team layout for them. There is a video for this. I love this goggles with the mountains. And I used the 49 and Market Everywhere collection because I thought the orange and blue together would work really well with the color of their goggles and the snow. So this is my daughter here and her two roommates, Sarah and Aurora, and their good friend Brandon. They all went to school together, and so it's fun to see them stay in touch. And yeah, love this layout as well. Now, here's some color for you, right? And so this is using the 49 and Market Gardenia collection. And this is for Pear Tree Cut Files. This is the Spring Wellies cut file. And so used a lot of different colors for the tulips, and am documenting a trip out to the tulip fields. This was for Locals Night because we do live in Mount Vernon, Washington, which has the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival every year. So we went and checked out the tulip fields. So very fun. This layout, which was an absolute blast to create, I did this on a live for my little scrapbook store. It might have expired by now. I'm not 100% sure, but you can check on their site, their Facebook group site, and see if it's still there. I used Hidden Creek for this and am documenting a photo of myself with my husband at Craft Island, which is a local little hike hangout. And I love using brown and teal together, particularly for nature types of things, and then little pops of yellow. I used some of the PET tape to create the hearts and a little bit behind the cluster there. I stamped. I did some texture paste with this diamond, and I can't remember what colors I used for the mixed media, if that was shimmers or if that was some Tim Holtz, but I did do that as well. And yeah, a lot of the flowers just were from my stash, but it came out very fun. I really like this layout a lot. Now this one is the start, hopefully, of lots of dog layouts. And so my daughter is, a little tired of seeing herself in so many layouts. And so we are going to be getting a puppy though. And so it was born on April 15th. Here he is with his his litter mates. And so I used the A's for April cut file from Pear Tree Cut Files. This is the Gardenia collection, so a lot of the tags and flowers from that collection that I tried to block in the colors according to the background piece. Now I just used one piece of paper to do this. I cut out the A out of this background with my Cricut. Also created an offset with this black, and then adhered it back onto that background. So like if I lifted this, you can see where it is cut out from this. And so since its integrity was compromised a little bit, I did back it on black, and then just use my notebook punch to create the border. And I'm just going to repair that real quick while I am seeing it get loosey-goosey. So yeah, look forward to more puppy layouts in the future. All right, this layout is celebrating one of my favorite hobbies, which is reading. And so these are, maybe not obviously not my first books, but just books that were kind of milestones in my reading journey. And so I created this layout for a Rediscover Your Stash video or YouTube hop, and the product was for stickers, and so I use stickers in a few different ways. Obviously my title, and the collection I used was Discover and Create from Vicki Boutin, but there's also pieces of an older Basic Gray collection in here. So that's what these letters are from. The favorites was a really old Thickers that I had in my stash where you can color it and it resists. And so that's what this is. I also use stickers as masks. And so in this background, you can see where it says 5 and 6. 9 down here, there's a 5 and a 1 up here. So I put my stickers down, then I painted over it and then pulled them back up. And then I also covered it a bit with a mesh stamp and a mesh stencil with texture paste mixed with blue. And I think there's also a few foam stickers in here, and then this flare from Happy Scrappy Studios, I believe. So very fun layout to create. I really enjoyed making that. All right, this one is also from My Little Scrapbook Store Live, and this one is definitely still up because I did it on this day, April 23rd. I ran out to the tulip fields that morning and took a couple more pictures kind of in the golden hour. So this collection is gardenia. I used some mixed media through here. I believe I used Lindy's shakers for that and tried to create a bit of a diagonal look. And then added a couple of little pie shapes using the 49 and Market dies, and just tried to keep it color blocked in the reds and pinks and oranges and greens and so on. So yeah. Now this layout is from the May My Creative Scrapbook kit. And so the next 4, 3 of them have videos. The videos haven't been released yet. They'll be released throughout the month. But my unboxing video is out there if you want to check that out. Also on the design team gallery, it'll show all of our layouts for that month's kit as well, so you can see it there. So the kit contains Prima, primarily Prima. Serene Petals is the name of the paper. And I really had a good time this month with this kit. And so I'm not as familiar, or I haven't used Prima as much as I've used some of the other vendors. And so it was really fun. It's a little bit different, and so different is always good and kind of pushes you creatively. And then also with this kit, we got 2 of each paper, which really was freeing. So because there's lots of times I'm like, oh, I don't want to cut into it, but I need to do something with it. And so this time I had a little bit more permission to do some things. And so, for instance, this paper, the Pink Brick background, Pink Brick, I knew I wanted to use as a background. On the back of it is this, if I can turn it over without things falling apart. And so I took from the other page that I had, I took this clock and I took this exposed brick with the moth. And so those are those two pieces there. And so I wanted the brick to kind of cover my photo a bit. And so I used this piece so that I had something to nest the brick against, and I didn't have to pull it all the way over here. And so that's what this piece is for. I did some zigzag stitch on that. And then I took some of the clock elements from some of the embellishments. I did do some mixed media. I just wanted something kind of light to shine behind that. And so you can see it's gold and shimmery with just a little bit of stamping behind it. A little bit of texture paste as well. And some splatters. And then I did all of that and then put my embellishments and such on. So I used some of these floral buds as well as these two. This one will probably go into a shadow box because it does have, you know, a bit of a higher profile. So y'all are probably wondering, like, how many shadow boxes do you have in your home? And I do have, you know, quite a few in my scrapbook space, but I'm also putting some in our bedroom, and after a while, it's probably going to be like, okay, you've gone a little overboard with the shadow boxes, but as long as I enjoy it, and it doesn't drive my husband crazy, then I'm just going to keep doing it. So this layout is from that same kit. This one is the one I like messed up on the video, so I don't have a video for this one. It is based on the sketch for the month, though the sketch goes, I guess I would say it goes this way, and then this action is down here. I did take paper to create a frame. And then out of one of the other wood grain papers, I created these two ladders and then put Julia's pictures in those, created my little embellishments. I did do some mixed media back here. Tried not to do anything too crazy because there's already a lot going on. But I used peeled paint and old paper, then a little dot, like I shouldn't say dot, a little, but a larger dot in some pinks, I think pink raspberry and worn lipstick maybe. Then there is some white textured flowers, and so now you're probably thinking, you said you didn't do a lot, but it sounds like you did. But there are a lot of steps, but not a lot of, I mean, it's still, I think, pretty subtle. I mean, I could be wrong. My idea of subtle could be very different from yours. And so it's no secret that I am a more is more girl rather than a less is more. And then a little bit of brick through here too. I like the brick just so there it's, since there was a lot of brick in the paper line, it just felt like continuity wise, it would be nice to have some brick. The title, the start of something amazing, because this is from her senior pictures. I got this off of my Creative Scrapbook website, and so they have cut files for members on the website. So yeah, I like that layout a lot. Now this is like my favorite paper, and this is, I think it was Memory Plays maybe, because there was a couple different vendors, a couple different papers from different vendors in this kit, and so there was only one of them, and so of course it's my favorite, and there was just one, and so I didn't want to, you know, do a whole bunch of crazy, and so I tore this section out and backed it with a green paper out of the collection, or out of the kit. I did do some mixed media on that strip. You can see some gold, some florals in there because I used the stencil that came in the kit to create that. Other than that, I might have done, no, I don't think I even did any splatters. I think all the splatters that you see are just built into that paper. I cut the title again out of a cut file from the site and then just created my clusters. And so these flowers I added, I cut these out of one of the pattern papers and then just filled them with some frills and some pearls. Added a few dewdrops to these flowers and my butterflies, and that was it. The picture is from a scrapbook crop that I went to a day crop in La Conner with some girlfriends. And so the picture, this one I chose to keep it as it was photographed. So it's, on an angle so that the horizon there is straight. So, and this I think is the last one out of that that May kit. And so same bunch of gals here. And so because this paper is coming at an angle, I chose to keep the picture straight on. So even though the horizon is crooked, the picture is not. And so I did some mixed media down here and to match kind of the colors in the paper. I did like a little whitewash on the paper just to soften it up a little bit and added my embellishments. And so the Friends and Be Present I did just with my label maker. My smile title I did with a die set that I have in my stash. So, all right, so this layout is from International Scrapbook Day. So this is, it was almost May, but I did it for a YouTube hop the last day of April. I did it on April 30th, so it just sneaks in there. And so, but the video was released on International Scrapbook Day because it is for the My Little Scrapbook Store YouTube hop for the International Scrapbook Day. And if you go to my channel and watch the video, you'll find out what my challenge is and see the link for the rest of the team, so you can partake in those challenges. And then on the Facebook group, which is also linked in the description, it will lead you to the Facebook group where you can post your layouts and maybe win prizes. So check it out. And this collection is Wanderlust from 49er Market. This picture is of my girlfriend and her husband. And so I left a little journaling card in here for her that she can do her journaling. Did my clusters here and here, and really kept it pretty, pretty simple. Didn't do any mixed media. So yeah, but it was a really fun layout to use or to do. And when you have a collection that has so many mixed media elements, then really you're just covering up those mixed media elements with your own mixed media. And sometimes that's fun to do, and other times you can just let it be. And that's what I chose to do on this one. So finally, this is the last layout I did in April, or second to last, I should say, because this one I posted on April 30th. So there is a video for this one, I think. Yeah, there is a video. And this one is for Pear Tree Cut Files. And this cut file includes the go everywhere, see everything, do everything. And so I included all of it on this layout just so you could see everything that came with that cut file. But you can use these individually, or you can just do 2 of them, or you can do all 3 if you like that look. I used some rub-ons from the collection the Wonderlust collection to kind of fill the space in between these. I did the go and the do at the top and the bottom just so that I had that overhang, because I knew it was going to go over my little block that I determined it was going to fit in. So I did my clusters at the top and the bottom. Some more pictures of Venice at the top and the bottom, as well as filling the letters there. So yeah, so those are my layouts for March and April. And so as you can see, everything I did this month was for design team projects. But hopefully in May and June, I will also have some that are not requirements that you can see. Now, I did work on a couple of mini books in this time period. I think I'm going to have a separate flip through for those, though. And so you can look forward to that on my channel. So thank you for joining me. You know, I appreciate your time. I know that there's a lot of content out there, and so I appreciate that you spend some time with me here on my channel. If you enjoy the content, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment. All of that helps my channel grow and helps me feel good about what I'm doing. So I appreciate any feedback. So have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye now.